Riverside Christian School in Breathitt County has dealt with floodwaters destroying their school not once but twice in the past 2 years. This time the flood damage caused the staff to have to gut nearly half of the bottom of the school building and force them to push back the start of school. Staff say they hope to have students back in classrooms by September 6th.
Until we see those kids again in just the classroom setting and just a school setting, it won't really sink in, but it's part of me. It almost makes me want to tear up thinking about getting to see the kids actually in the school building and just having class or just having a normal conversation with them.
Asher says this has not been an easy road, but he believes God will get them through it. WYMT's Olivia Calfee will have more tonight at 6. County officials in the Big Sandy recently came together to request additional aid for flood-prone counties. Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams praised state leaders for their more than $200 million flood relief package, but says many counties see a long-term solution that could ease flooding throughout eastern Kentucky. Judge Williams and officials from neighboring counties proposed that some of the allotted funds be specifically designated for dredging creeks and streams in the region to remove any debris, trash, or other blockages that could cause flooding in the future and allow better flow of runoff. Judge Williams says this may not be something that fixes the entire problem, but allowing better water flow is an important step to ensure floods of this magnitude don't happen again.
Makes all the difference in the world. And it's probably, as I said, this isn't the silver bullet that's going to just eliminate flooding. It is not. This is just one piece of the puzzle.
Judge Williams added that the permits and regulations before dredging immensely slow down the process and streamline the obtaining of permits, or decreasing regulations surrounding dredging could lead to homes, businesses, and lives saved. We'll have more on this coming up at 5:30. The floodwater rushed in so fast 4 weeks ago today, people and animals alike had to make quick decisions in order to survive. A dog named Phoenix in Feisty has his own miraculous story. Kelly Smith was upstairs in his apartment as the floodwater continued rising. As it receded, he went searching for his two dogs. Once he started looking around the house, he found his dog Phoenix on top of the tail end of a car at least 8 feet in the air. Something Smith said was miraculous to see.
But he rode the whole storm out all night from 2:30 up to about 8 o'clock the next morning.
Smith says Phoenix then leaped down safely once the water cleared. We'll have more on this story as well coming up at 5:30.
And out here once again at the Power Up the Pantry event out here just outside the RH Medical Mall here in Black Gold Boulevard. And I want to point out something we were just handed a few minutes ago. The New Hope Food Pantry Recognition Award presented to WYMT in sincere appreciation for support to New Hope Food Pantry during the devastation of our community when our pantry was critically low. I want to, of course, give them our heartfelt thanks for that as well, and that we are deeply honored to have that as well. Outside right now, weather-wise, it is warm. We're at 82 at Buffalo Mountain in Perry County. We will continue to see the warm air work on through as we head through the remainder of tonight. Pikeville Medical Center, or excuse me, this is the US 119 US 23 camera in Pikeville, not too far from where one of our other locations is there at the Kentucky Power Service Center in Coal Run. 85 the temperature there. It is warm all across the region, low to mid-80s out there with some upper 80s as well. 88 Manchester, 88 in Irvin, up toward Lexington. They're at 89, so things are very warm outside. Feels like temperatures, well, it feels like 90 in Somerset, 89 in Irvin. Those dew points are not too high yet, so we're not quite dealing with oppressive heat indices out there, but we'll still watch it. Satellite and radar. Most of the activity's been off to our east today and should stay that way through tonight, but I can't rule out a spotty storm. Otherwise, mid-80s as we head through the evening, into the 70s by 9 o'clock and right around 70 as we head into the overnight. Now I'll have the very latest on when we could see a return to some showers and storms in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you, and we appreciate New Hope for that recognition. Of course, that's not why we do it, and the need probably is greater than ever in these pantries, but we certainly appreciate all that they do. Well, one day after the president revealed his student loan relief plan, reaction among Americans is split, mostly along party lines. CBS's Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington.
Student loan borrowers and supporters celebrated President Biden's forgiveness plan Thursday morning in Washington.
I mean, I am just overwhelmed that 20 million people aren't going to have student loan debt anymore.
The president is delivering on his campaign promise, erasing $10,000 in federal student loan debt for those with annual incomes below $125,000 or couples earning less than $250,000. Now the next step for many of the people here and millions of other borrowers is to figure out how to actually get the relief. The government says it has income information for about 8 million borrowers.
What you need to do is go to studentaid.gov/debt relief. You are going to be waiting for information, and you will have to fill out a form. That means about 35 million people who don't have income information go do it, and even if they have your information, do it anyway.
While the plan is moving forward, Republicans are denouncing it as an insult to those who chose not to take on debt.
And then there's many other people who took out loans and paid them off. So don't you feel like a sucker now that Biden's coming to do this?
Some critics of the president's plan are concerned the new spending power for borrowers will drive up consumer prices even more. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
The plan would cancel an additional $10,000 for those who received Pell Grants. Student loan borrowers and advocates rallied in Washington, D.C. yesterday. The group gathered in Lafayette Park and then marched to the gates of the White House. Supporters were celebrating the loan forgiveness announcement.
This bold, life-changing action is another victory for working families and for our NEA members of every race, living in every place, of every economic status in this country.
Members of Move On, the National Education Association, and the NAACP all participated. The Biden administration and abortion rights advocates are pushing back on so-called trigger laws that take effect this week. The new laws nearly ban abortions in several Republican-led states across the country. In 2 of those states, the Biden administration faces dueling rulings related to protecting the lives of pregnant women. CBS's Skylar Henry has more.
In Tennessee, abortion rights advocates are sounding off.
We will not be quiet.
Tennessee is one of 4 Republican-led states with laws taking effect Thursday to severely limit abortions, now 2 months after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade.
That little one is just as much human as you or I are.
The reality is that patients are scared. Doctors are scared.
For now, Idaho can only partially enforce its trigger law after a federal judge ruled doctors can end a pregnancy to help save a mother's life or health at hospitals that accept Medicare funding. The Biden administration, which brought the Idaho challenge using the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act, praised the decision, saying it will prevent serious harm to women.
We're going to be committed to restoring the protections of Roe.
But another judge in Texas blocked federal guidance regarding emergency abortion services. The state's law, which bans the procedure as soon as a fetal heartbeat is detected, does have an exception for the life of the mother. But legal experts say it's ambiguous.
There's not a clear definition of what exactly that is and what is going to fall in that category. And so that leaves medical providers in a real predicament.
Meanwhile, North Dakota's trigger law could take effect on Friday, pending an ongoing legal challenge. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
The abortion battle continues to play out in the courtroom and at the polls, with Democrats seizing the issue to drive turnout in this year's midterm elections. The White House says President Biden will again lay out his party's stance on the issue tonight at a political rally in Maryland. A federal judge on Wednesday blocked enforcement of Idaho's abortion ban in situations where it conflicts with federal standards for emergency care. The ruling was in response to a request by the Biden administration in its challenge to parts of the Idaho law. The challenge is based on the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act. It requires some medical providers to give emergency care to pregnant women even if they can't pay. The Justice Department says Idaho's abortion ban criminalizes abortion care that physicians are obligated to offer in medical emergencies. The Idaho Attorney General's office declined to comment about possibly appealing the order. Coming up, as First at 4 continues, the vinyl industry is making a comeback, but is it coming back green? What one British company is doing to try and make that a reality.
And keep an eye on Pinpoint Doppler at times through tonight. We're dry right now, but could that change into tomorrow? Those details are coming up.